World Cup 2026 is underway. This is insanity. We're talking all things World Cup today, bringing Joe Brode, producer Luke. We talk about cool collectibles all the time, which you can reach out to us, coolcollectibles at foxa.com. We want to hear your comments. We want to see your pictures and ask your questions. But now we're talking about international collectibles. And all this is bigger than it's ever been. We're talking about 48 teams, 104 matches. The U.S. is making it to the knockout round. We're going to the knockout rounds. This has been insane. Cleveland played a big part with the friendly with Brazil versus Egypt. It's been all around Mexico, the United States, and Canada. This is the biggest World Cup ever, and people are feeling the vibe, the energy. And now it's like, hey, how can I get some merch?
And they're drinking cities dry.
The Scots. They drank the airplanes dry on the way over from Scotland to Boston, and then you drink out Sam Adams? What happened? Who can't love that? Right? That is awesome. But bringing the whole world together. People in America, we appreciate soccer for the most part, but this is the world's number one sport, and now you're seeing the reasons why. You got some cool stuff here.
Yeah.
I can't believe you have 2 signed balls from arguably the greatest soccer players in the history of the game. Pelé from Brazil.
And Messi.
And Lionel Messi from Argentina, who is just putting on a show.
Yeah.
We'll get into who's better,
Yeah.
globally speaking, in the history of the game. But first of all, how did you get this stuff, and how can I get my hands on it without breaking the bank?
Well, you are going to break the bank getting your hands on that stuff.
Right.
We've just been buying collections for many years and acquired a Messi ball, Pele, and we have some really unique soccer stuff. And we just purchased some Yamal jerseys recently and Messi, and we have some Pele jerseys left and a couple photos. The stuff's going up in value every single day.
How on earth did you get something so priceless like this?
Yeah.
This is incredible.
How?
Yeah, how on earth? I mean, you work your magic.
Yeah, work our magic, and it's from Fanatics, so we have a direct account with Fanatics. So they put them up for sale, and we bought them. So
He just scored his. I mean, that probably went up even more because he just scored his first World Cup goal this
when
week.
we talk about stuff going up daily, I mean, Messi scored 2 more goals? He has 5 total
Oh my
goals.
God! I should have bet yesterday. I mean, not to promote gambling or anything, but if you would have bet because Mbappe, Messi, and Haaland all played yesterday.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if there was some bet, like if you would have just bet for all of them to score 1 goal, which they did, I mean, the return was like massive.
Tenfold.
I'm kicking myself for not doing it, but they all scored. I think 2 of them. I think Haaland and Messi both scored 2 goals each too. So.
And Joe Brode, Primetime Sports and Framing, Belden Village, Great Northern Mall. You get this kind of stuff from time to time. You have 2 of the biggest autographs that you'll ever find in the history of the game. But you also put this stuff on eBay, live. You're huge on auctions. So if you are really looking to get your hand on right now a Lionel Messi, because this is probably his last World Cup.
Yeah, very limited.
You got to go now because once he's done, this stuff is going to skyrocket.
Absolutely. And the collectible industry in general is outperforming the stock market. Think about it.
Right.
It's crazy. You wake up one day and it shot up 10%, 15%, and Messi ball probably $3,000, $4,000, and today it may be $5,000 because of how the want for
the autograph ball is about $3, $4, $5,000.
Yeah. I have an Argentina jersey. We had it listed for just to give you an example for $5,000 Argentina, but we've been so much. Everybody's bidding at each other. Now it's up to $6,000-$7,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
These guys,
That shot up overnight.
I mean, Messi, I think he's probably close to a billionaire now. I mean, he's arguably the greatest player in the game right now. Cristiano Ronaldo, he makes all the money, and now they're not even sure if they're going to start him.
Right.
It's like for Portugal. But I get the significance that he has there and that kind of stuff. You got to get this stuff now. But do you get soccer players to come out ever? When would be the best time? If you ever, want to fly somewhere to meet these guys in person to try to get, do they even do that? Because once they reach that global international stage,
It's like Michael Jordan. It's like he's not signed him any.
Once you reach a certain status, it's very hard to get in front of these guys. Like Messi will never do a public signing. LeBron, Jordan, there's some guys once you reach a certain threshold, they won't go out in public because they can just get swarmed.
Right.
And it's not fair to them, and they don't want to deal with that. They don't have to hire a full, army, to protect them. You just to walk to, down the street.
But maybe a Mia Hamm, a Dempsey, a
Yeah.
Donovan, maybe. Do
Yeah.
they do signings from
Yeah,
time to time?
I know Hope Solo does. You just gotta. Some people that don't do signings a lot, you call them and call their agent and try to talk to them and persuade them, and offer them the right box cheese. I say they give them the right money. They may come out.
Yeah.
Everyone's got a price.
Yeah, everybody's got a price, and so if they say yes, and they would do it. You just gotta work the magic.
You deal with all these professional collectors, and if you're looking to collect now for yourself in the soccer realm, top 5 players you'd try to go after who are attainable for the autograph.
Are obtainable.
Mm-hmm.
You can't go wrong investing in Messi, Yamal. I mean, if you find Pele autographs, Pele's no longer here, rest in peace. So the value is only going up.
Right.
So it's like it's a great investment. It's not going down. So those are the top 3. And then you have Ronaldo. Then you have Mbappe. If you find something Mbappe signed, it's close to Messi value.
What about Pulisic, Captain America?
Yeah.
it's, leading the
He's
US.
not. There's tons of fans for him, but I haven't personally seen. Like, I've had a jersey for a very long time of him, and it's not flying off the shelves.
Right. He
Um,
kind of. I feel like he's the kind of guy who needs a signature moment. Like if he were
Yeah.
to score a big goal in this World Cup, then you might
Yeah.
see that value go up.
And that's what's up with some of these guys. Like, even just transitioning different sports, like the basketball, like, Landry Shaman and the Knicks, like those 6, and OG Anunoby, like he had a certain moment that tipped,
Yeah.
Which now everybody wants to autograph.
Oh,
Like,
and imagine how much that jersey's gonna be now.
So you just these guys need a signature moment in their career
Mhm.
to really make people want to collect them.
That's where I can see where, like, you talked about it's outperforming the stock market. Like, it's so much more like the value of these things is so much more culturally driven, and is like you're talking about these big moments when these athletes have a huge moment. It can totally change the value of their merch, their autograph, everything. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's just it's an interesting thing to me.
So I'll give you a crazy stat. So not related to soccer, but just keep in mind. So Jalen Brunson before the season was a $300 jersey. Now he's anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 jersey.
Whoa, that's what happens when you win the NBA championship.
Yeah, and
Yep.
Fanatics is bringing him to their Fanatics Fest, and it's $1,000 just for a photo op with him.
I mean, that sounds like
Yeah.
a deal to
Yeah.
me. With
Get it? Yeah, that's
But-
that's insane, but that's what the market
Yeah.
is nowadays.
It's-
and when you win in New York, I mean, it's
Yeah,
just
but that's just
you're-
a photo op, and photo ops are quick. It's good interaction, but that's not even him signing. Him signing is even more money.
Wow.
Yeah.
And as the athlete, they got to capitalize on this while they can until they reach that
Sure.
threshold, like the Jordan and all that kind of stuff. Because Jalen Brunson's going to be one of the greatest in the game, but will he be,
I just don't know.
Steph Curry? Will he
Yeah.
be LeBron?
It could be the company themselves capitalizing it or the athlete. You just don't know based on the contract, right? It just all depends.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, I'm going to explain to you the art of the flop. So many people ask me, why this soccer's great, but the flop, why are those guys doing that all the time? The acting is horrible. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about the big signings. He's got huge signings coming up in June and July you don't want to miss, and so much more when we come back here on Cool Collectibles. Welcome back to Cool Collectibles. I'm Gabe Spiegel with Joe Bro from Primetime Sports and Framing, and my man Luke, the producer, sports aficionado. He knows it all. He knows World Cup. Are you excited about this World Cup?
I'm
this year?
pumped. I've been enjoying it a lot more than I ever have before. And I'm not a huge soccer fan. I'll tune into Premier League and stuff, but I always like watching the World Cup. And then this year, there's something about it being on U.S. soil and being in stadiums that you recognize. And it's an exciting thing. I got World
You
Cup
mean the ghost
fever.
stadiums? The ghost stadiums, they're calling it, because they're not showing all the endorsements. MetLife stadiums, they're ghost
Right.
stadiums.
It's like Atlanta Stadium.
yeah,
and
I think it's
stuff.
kind of cool that they're
It-
doing that.
Well, it just shows you how powerful FIFA is, dude.
Across the world,
they can
yeah.
make all
Yeah.
these giant corporations just bend the knee. Like, no, we're not showing any of your signage or names during this thing.
Even Seattle, they just won the Super Bowl and they make them cover it up.
Yeah, in their Seattle stadium.
But think, like, if they had the Seahawks across the entire stadium, you know how many more fans they would acquire?
Yeah.
Just from just new fans.
True.
Good point.
But
Good
FIFA's
point.
FIFA's like a country, dude.
I
It's
know.
like it's that powerful. Like that if you want the World Cup in your country, you're gonna do whatever FIFA wants you to
And
do.
is it
basically.
Norway doing the row thing?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
fun.
these fan
Ho-
festivities.
Holland is my favorite. Holland's my favorite player in
Yeah.
the tournament.
You
so
know what the
far.
national
I love
analyst
him.
said about him last night? They said, watch this kid. Because how young is he? He's very young. 20.
He's like 24, 25.
They said, watch this kid because he will break all the records that you're seeing.
He's
broken right
insane.
now.
He scores every single game. And he's a monster and he looks like baby Brock Lesnar. So that's
He
why
does.
I like him.
I was thinking a little Dolph Lundgren. But
Yeah, I
Brock
said the
Lesnar.
same thing to my buddy the other day. Yeah.
But the whoo,
Yeah.
whoo, and the whole stadium, people are rooting for the Vikings of Norway. They want them to continue on, and they did well against Senegal last night. I watched that. They're in.
They're in the
they're
knockout stage, yeah.
So now that we're in the knockout stage, who's going to win this? I know it's early. What are your predictions?
I think Mbappe in France.
I think he's going to break some
but
records.
You know
Clearly,
what?
he's up
You
there.
always got to root for USA, right?
Mm.
But I mean, I do think Mbappe's going to win it all. Him and his team.
You think France?
Yeah.
The Americans are very fast,
They are.
very skilled.
Mm.
I don't know about the defense as much as they should. Like when you look at Argentina's defense, they smother. They surround and smother. Brazil surrounds. Spain surrounds and smothers. But as far as the offense, and we haven't played any real tough team yet, but we're about to find that out. I just don't want to get knocked. I want to at least win one in the knockout round, and then one. That would be incredible.
It would be awesome.
Because you have to win, I think, 8 this year, unlike other previous World Cups where you only had to win 7. 1 or 2 more, and I am a happy American camper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have to look at it realistically. It's like, I think anybody who knows American soccer knows that there's levels to this, and that countries like Spain and Argentina and Brazil have been doing this for decades and decades and
Right.
developing talent for decades. But I think you're seeing, like, in this World Cup, like, U.S. soccer's finally kind of starting to figure it out a little bit, especially offensively. And like you said, you know, we don't know about the defense yet, but I've never watched U.S. men's soccer games where the ball is on the other side of the field all the time.
We're
Usually
pressuring. We're
we're
pressuring.
on our
Yeah.
heels, we're
Yep.
taking shots, we're
That's the
praying
speed.
nothing goes in. And the first 2 games have been like quite the opposite. So it's been fun to watch, man.
100%. I'm going to explain the art of the flop here in 1 second, but I want you to know about the events coming up because I've had some buddies come out to your autograph signings and they're flipping their lid. A buddy came in the station the other day and he had one of your Jose Ramirez signed stuff and he was doing backflips. People were listening to you, Joe. What you're doing and bringing in these big legendary names is more than extraordinary. You've got some new ones coming in soon.
Oh, yes, we do. So the first one upcoming is Sophie Cunningham. That is in Indiana, so be aware of that. But you can check out all the information on our website, primetime12.com.
But you can also get some of her stuff on your eBay auction line from time to time. Maybe Sophie Cunningham.
She'll be on eBay Live it'll be this Sunday,
Okay.
around 4:00. So if you can't make it, tune into our eBay
Boom.
Live. But then the July 6th, 7th, and 8th, we have John Daly's on the 6th, Christian McDonald, aka Shooter McGavin, on July 7th.
Oh,
Yep, July 8th, Pete Weber, the bowling legend. And then
Yeah.
the following week, we have Rodney Hampton and Trome Means, Willis McGahee, Sean Weiss from the Mighty Ducks, and then the Peanuts, Brad Keston and Melanie Cohn. And then July 19th, we have the last living NWO member coming in for a public signing and eBay Live signing, Kevin Nash.
Boom.
Will be at Belton Village Mall. That is a
Whoa.
big bring in.
Nice.
He's awesome.
That's a big dude too.
Yeah, it is.
That
It
is awesome. So get your memorabilia and
Yep.
check out your website. How can folks reach out to you?
Oh, you can reach out to me at joe@primetime12.com. Check us out on all of our social medias. We have a great marketing team, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. And check us out on eBay Live. And then we also have a Browns Day that we're going to be announcing here soon, and Ohio State Day.
Right.
So
Really creative on Instagram
Yeah.
too. He and Laney had a really funny video the other day. You got to check it out.
yeah,
Primetime Sports and Framing.
more funny videos coming soon.
Yes, I love when you're singing and dancing and doing the lip sync stuff. It's awesome. Okay, so real quickly, the flop. People are like, why does that happen so much? Listen, I don't want to brag, folks, but I won the city championship at Akron Jennings Middle School, and it doesn't matter what year it was. with a backward kick. Played a little bit in high school for Akron North. Then I played indoor soccer and outdoor soccer recreation up until about 35. I'm 52 now. The reason why people you flop. You have a pen on you? You have a pen? No.
No, I don't.
You have a
Okay.
pen on
Well,
you.
here. This is Gabe running with the ball. Okay, and I'm running to score down here. That's our target, right? The goal. So you flop many times because first of all, you're making sure the referees are paying attention. You have to flop. If someone cuts your leg, if you don't flop, the defender will continue to play harder and harder and harder and get away with more stuff. So you're grabbing the attention of the referees, and then also when you cut, if you have the ball, this is me with the ball, and this is the defender. He's coming, he's going to cut me, but as soon as I cut in front of him because I'm going this way, now I've got him. I've got him by the eyeballs. And if he cuts you here, you get a free shot. You get a free shot on goal. So a lot of folks, and the defenders will flop too because you're trying to get some sympathy from the refs. But that's the reason for the flop. It's not because these guys are lame. These guys will play 90 minutes straight without taking a breath. Now this year, for the first time ever, they've implemented the water breaks, which is so necessary.
Commercial breaks.
The commercial,
Yeah.
right, exactly. You're exactly right. They don't care about the wind of the players.
Right.
They care about making money.
We need more ads.
And you know what? For a fan who's watching from the couch, I need a potty break too. So
Yeah.
it kind of works out for everybody. But that's the reason why these are extraordinary athletes, and their whole countries are behind them. It's super exciting. We're gonna argue who's better, Lionel Messi or was Pele? When we come back, and I'm gonna be right. Some people say Messi, some people say Pele, the greatest players in the history of the game. These two knuckleheads over here have no idea. I know who was the greatest player of all time.
Messi.
Yes. Yes.
Messi.
Yes. What would say you?
I'm gonna go Pele.
Pele?
because that
you know,
ball's right there.
Pele was in 4 World Cups. He won 3. Messi's been in 2. He's won 1. Might win this one this year at 38.
He might.
His touch, but it was a bit of a different game back in the days when Pele was there. I mean, he scored 1,000 goals in his career, whatnot. But the World Cup thing really stands out the most. But as far as like changing the game and changing the way he did tricks, but he also, you know how tall Pele was 5'8". Messi's 5'7". They say sometimes with a shorter stature, it gives you that explosive benefit.
Yeah.
And where you're lower to the ground, your core, gravity and balance and all
Well,
that
it's
stuff.
like
is a benefit.
Tyreek Hill in the NFL. It's like smaller wide receivers,
Right.
quicker, easier to get around defenders. So makes sense.
Sometimes harder to guard him too.
Yeah, exactly.
I know a lot of short guys who are not that fast, not that explosive. The muscle fiber, that's you. But they're both freaks of nature with what they did. But I think Pele, what he did in that era, was today you have sports science, you have
Right.
different philosophies for the game. I think what he did was more revolutionary and super special. And everyone still goes, Pele. If you're older than the age of 40, Pele is the greatest player. But I think watching both,
Yeah.
Messi's just on another
He
level.
just scores goals all the time.
Yeah.
He does.
It's
He does. And
in the biggest moments.
But the one he scored the other night, it's like the one guy, his own teammate almost collided with him, and then the guy was like, "Let me get out of the way," and then he took a shot, then another shot, and then goes in. It was like all of his teammates feed him the rock. He goes down. Argentina is going to be in big trouble.
yeah,
Yeah.
it just shows you the impact of his play.
Yeah.
And same thing similar with Pele. I mean, anytime a big star goes down, you're gonna see how truly good the rest of your team is.
Yeah.
And how much that team is really relying on that big star.
Yeah.
And LeBron, when LeBron was on the Cavs during their championship run, they still had a good team. They had Kyrie, Kevin Love, Tristan
Right.
Thompson,
Yeah.
J.R. Smith, Shumpert, all those guys. They still had a good team if LeBron went down, but he didn't. And it's just
It is kind of interesting that like these World Cup teams, you don't see a lot of them with 2 superstars like that.
No,
it's
you
pretty
don't.
much like
Right.
1 superstar per team, and then
Which that's
you
makes
build
it-
your roster around that guy.
it makes it so much more fun to watch.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Oh yeah.
Teams aren't just getting like obliterated out there.
Exactly. Yeah. And now you have teams, like I just watched Egypt the other night, and Mohamed Salah, who I think played for Liverpool for a long time, was like, I barely watched him. He was so fun to watch out there, and he's same thing. He's like 5'7", 5'8", tiny guy.
The Egyptian king.
But it shows you like these teams. All you really need is like one superstar to kind of emerge out of your country, and suddenly like you're kind of relevant on the national stage because there's teams that haven't done a lot in the World Cup that are, Norway, like we talked about earlier with Holland.
You're
is
Holland.
doing great.
Holland goes down. Norway and the Vikings.
No,
are
they're
going down.
screwed. They're screwed. But
They're going to be running
but he's
quick.
he's huge, dude. He's not gonna get. He's
Watching
Superman.
him last night after he took the shot and it missed, you saw him. He was like this.
Yeah.
But it bounces over his buddy, and his buddy feeds him. Then goosh. Oh, he was back. But I didn't like seeing that. I didn't like seeing him go.
Yeah.
And he kind of gave up on the play. And he was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, thanks, guys." I was like, "Don't give up on the play.
Yeah. Keep it going.
Keep those
Holland.
shots coming." I'm sitting there screaming at the monitor, "Shoot! Shoot something! Shoot!" Because then you always get the rebound. That's that's one thing that worked for me one time.
Yeah.
Maybe only time.
That's more soccer goals than I scored. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, it's so much fun. It's the best exercise ever. We're gonna take a quick break. Again, more on the events, and I'm gonna give these guys a treat today. I'm gonna toss a couple dad jokes their way and see how much they're gonna enjoy it. Right after this break. Oh, the World Cup. Ooh, this is insanity. Argentina could win this off. France could win on Spain. The United States. Nah, not the U.S. Right, guys?
You never know.
You think there's hope for
We
us?
pulled off miracles before.
You think there's hope for us?
There's always hope. Are you in
Yeah.
the tournament? You got hope?
I want
You a-
to believe.
Aren't you a Browns fan?
Yeah, you
Exactly. My heart's been broken way too many times. I've been to the factory of sadness.
Yeah.
I want to go to the factory of gladness.
Yeah.
One time.
It's
in my
coming
life.
in Brook Park apparently.
Yes, it is. Yes, 2029.
Right.
Folks, if you ever get a chance to go to a World Cup friendly here in Cleveland, Brazil versus Egypt, it was insane. Wall-to-wall people, Egyptian fans, full families holding hands, walking into the stadium, everyone getting along,
Merch
everyone
sold
excited.
out.
Merch sold out like that.
Yeah.
I got a jersey for my son. It was Eli and me. We were there. We got a Vinny Jr. Jersey on the street. $45. Said FIFA World Cup. Okay, let me ask you a quick question.
Yeah.
I get a FIFA World Cup signed jersey versus a true licensed or a T-shirt. The values range considerably coming from a professional collector.
Yeah, they do range a little bit, but if you find an authentic jersey signed, it's going to go for a little bit more because authentic jerseys are getting more and more, they're harder to get your hands on. But the custom jerseys are a little bit easier, so the value is going to be a little bit, about 20 30% difference in range.
And again, at Primetime Sports and Framing, they've got all of the best soccer merch in the world. You see this ball back here? I've been afraid to touch this ball. It's signed by Pelé, Brazilian superstar. Is it okay?
Yes, you
So I
can.
can bring it a little closer?
Yeah.
This dude was in 4 World Cups, won 3. Arguably the greatest soccer player of all time, if I can get this straight. Incredible. And I would bet this would go for, $20, $30. You see Joe laugh.
Right.
I mean, but if you're a soccer collector and more and more Americans are really getting into this kind of thing, boom, that's only going to go up in price, right? In value.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I think you said you were gonna tell us some dad jokes.
No,
here.
guys, listen. This local soccer ref, he sent me a Father's Day card the other day. It was yellow. Grasshoppers, they hate the game of soccer. They prefer cricket. Those new soccer stadiums, they're really super cool, Got all those fans doing the wave.
Was that a joke?
Don't encourage. Don't laugh. I told you that last one would be so bad. Anyway, you got some big events. Let's get back to the nitty gritty. You got big events coming up and big names. Run down that list. First of all, you can always reach out to us. Cool Collectibles at fox8.com. Luke and I love getting your emails. We got a couple we should respond to on our next episode.
Yeah, we can. We actually got somebody that wanted to talk a little Pokemon with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Based on a previous episode. But yeah, we'll get to that soon.
Okay, so again, did you say Nash is coming?
Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash.
guys
is coming. Yeah, July 19th. The last living NWO member is coming to Belleville Village Mall. And if you can't make it and you're out of state, every one of our signings will be on eBay Live.
NWO wrestling. If there wasn't blood, grit, and tears, they weren't wrestling.
Nope.
Okay, what about some other? You've got some baseball players too.
We do, and first our WNBA star Sophie Cunningham. She's awesome. If you can make it to that signing, I highly recommend. She's awesome. But if you can't, on eBay Live. But we have John Daly, Christopher Shooter McGavin.
John Daly, is he bringing his motor coach? Because he brings those to the big tournaments.
Right.
He pulls up and everyone goes nuts.
I hope he does.
Dude,
That'd be fun.
I hope you get the full daily experience.
Yeah.
Diet Coke, cigarettes, everything.
Well, we have some exclusive merch because they're both in Happy Gilmore too. Him and Shooter McGavin. So we have some Happy Gilmore items.
Oh, that'll be
that
awesome.
are going to be signed there, and we'll have the only ones because they haven't done a signing technically together.
So
They're not
when's
together.
Daly? When's Shooter?
July 6th and July 7th. July 6th is John Daly. July 7th is Shooter, and then
We're coming out with that one. That's we gotta go. We're
We
taking
might
this show
have
on
to.
the road.
that is only on eBay Live though, so not a public signing.
eBay Live, got it.
but
Okay, so just get on the eBay Live.
Yep.
Find prime
And
time.
then July 8th is Pete Weber, and then we have Rodney Hampton.
July 8th, Pete Weber, the legendary.
Yep.
Who do you think you are? I am.
He signs that as a description.
I would
awesome.
expect nothing else.
Wasn't he in a couple movies? He was in a couple
Might have been some
movies.
stuff.
I swear he was. He wasn't. What's that movie with Woody Harrelson? He wasn't in that one.
Oh, Kingpin?
He wasn't in that
He
one.
wasn't a Kingpin.
That's one
Oh, it's one of the best
movies ever.
comedies of all time.
Yeah.
And then we have Rodney Hampton, Natrone Means, Willis McGahee, Sean Weiss from Mighty Ducks, the Peanuts, and then we have Kevin Nash, July 19th. And then we have our Ohio State Day we'll be announcing soon, and the Browns Day. So
Get out there, everybody.
gotta get
There's
out.
no way you're gonna get Jeremiah Smith, though. I bet. Possibly. Possibly.
I don't know.
Come on. You can pull
Not
strings,
yet,
Joe.
not yet.
Anybody can pull strings? You can. I believe on the next Cool Collectibles, we're going to be talking about movies. Anybody like movies out there?
Music. We're
Music
talking
and movies.
Yeah. Just music today.
Just music?
We already did movies.
I know, but I want to do
We
movies.
do movies too.
I like doing
There's nothing
movies.
stopping us. There's no
Why you
rules
gotta?
to this.
I like movies.
All right.
Joe Brode, Prime Time, Sports and Framing, producer Luke, Gabe Spiegel. See you next time.